Attention gamers. It's now been 2 years since we paid our respects to the passing of many items that Riot gutted from the Rift, a sad day to say the least, but among all those we lost in the battle of the balance team's ineptitude, I was specifically white girl at Starbucks having a Karen meltdown levels of upset about Static Shiv. But today I'm happy to report that it's back and better than ever, and how bringing it back from the dead will make the most impactful resurrection that will be studied for centuries to come. Sorry Jesus, I'm sure you'll understand when I explain it in more depth. Breaking down the stats, it now gives a fat thick boys amount of AD in addition to the jitters and the critters you got before, but behind my head you can see that its little shock effect is stronger now, scales a ton with AP, and deals double damage to minions, which means champs like Ellen DeGeneres here who used to suffer from having wave clear on par with a plastic spoon can now go full AP with this item and one-shot waves. This alone will change the meta in a lot of ways and in my opinion will make AP Ezreal one of the strongest mid laners in the game. So today I hit up Papa PBE to see if it feels strong, and let me just say nothing has felt better since the last time I opened up a sacred shard in Raid Shadow Legends. Cue the stealthy transition. Let me show you the grand opening of 3 months worth of shard collecting I've been doing on the Raidy Shady. In Raid you collect heroes, level them up, fight in campaigns, defeat bosses, get massively addicted and form a strong relationship with your phone as you build your army, and these shards are a main way to get new heroes. Blue shards are decent where you typically get champs that are rare, yes, but look like they are trying out a bold outfit to wear to their first Coachella. Elephant Man is actually named Truger, a rare attack-happy man from the clan of barbarians. His skills add buffs to himself, debuffs to the bad guys, and cast AoEs that get stronger with every level. I then got Miss Goldilocks from a purple shard right after, and while supports on the surface aren't my cup of tea, looking through her skills you'll see that she literally has the ability to revive your other troops in combat, earning her a spot in the lineup. Then we get to the legendary shards, and these have the best chance of winning the lottery and getting someone like this. My first legendary champ, and to give you an idea of why these are so good. This is what an epic champ at level 1 looks like when you throw him in solo to the middle of the campaign. Compared to my new level 1 legendary champ in the same campaign. Yes, it's insane, and all kinds of new shiz is coming to Raid, like this series named Raid Call of the Arbiter, where you'll learn dank new lore bios for all the champs in the universe. Raid is free, but if you use my link below or scan the QR code you'll get silver energy, skill tomes, XP boosts and this epic Drake, so give it a try today. Okay, so here's the deal. I really just wanted to sit mid before the game, not protect jack shit from getting invaded, and watch TikToks on my phone until I realized that half the first wave is dead. But Obama over here had a bone to pick with their Thresh. Something about him stealing his wife, trapping her in some claustrophobic lantern for decades and only feeding her Doritos dust. And here's the thing, normally I'm too mature for this crap, but when I'm running Dark Harvest it's like a demon is possessing me.
Feed me.
So I chase them hoping to
Give me a stack.
where all I want is to attack the
Feed me.
So I stuck around way too long to pop one Dark Harvey before the game.
Ah, yeah, that's the shit.
Anyways, that whole schizophrenic episode has their dumb Diana entering lane looking like she's trying to get the dick tonight, and once I have her low I think the appropriate play would be to kill this minion, hit a Q right after and then kill her off, but instead I opt for plan B. But she's out of lane, I will just take some plating. Side note, they buffed those too. So I decide to spend my free time traveling up north to stick it to the police, you know, make CNN proud, but I end up having a run-in with a coked up sword lord who dry scooped entirely too much G fuel this morning, so I do the tango with him just until I can push my E to earn some G's from the manslaughter. Then I head back mid where Dirty D greets me with a weaponized sliver of the moon before abruptly deciding that she would like it back, but I'm not cool with that, so I throw a bunch of shit at her till she pisses off. But this has her lower than my bank account balance every time Riot releases a new Lux skin, and clearly she's played enough Diana to be used to not having to pay attention to her health bar. But unfortunately dashing towards danger is not the correct answer to that boating school question, SpongeBob you dumb shit, so I put my Crocs in sport mode and enter hot pursuit, knowing I just have to line up one more bursty boy to earn the kill. I now haven't seen her for a few minutes and I'm thinking holy shit, I made her AFK, I'm gonna clickbait this with the juiciest Asu Wu pic in the thumbnail, but turns out she was here all alone just in Dragon Pit looking for her missing chromosome, so I fire a spectral combo meal to alley-oop Ocean Drake into spit in her face for the kill combo. But I still don't have the shiv that's static, so I push slower than a constipated sloth that's trying to take a shit, which means the moron is back before I escort all the blue babies to their genocide site. But I figure I'm here, might as well harass the hoe until she turns on me. But I remember the wise words of my late Uncle Frank, who died while playing outside during a tornado: never stop kiting, which ends this story in a more positive way than his. And you may have heard people talk about trust fund babies living their life on easy mode so much that they don't know how to do anything for themselves. Well, a similar concept applies to Diana players. They are just so used to being busty nuts goddamn broken that they have no concept for positioning or when to go in, and this particular one is a perfect example of that. But thanks to this, I was ready to welcome back Static Shift to make its Summoner's Rift re-debut just over 10 minutes into the game, and the wave clear was already feeling naughty, which meant I could be the first mid-lane Ezreal in the history of this game to keep my lane mate shoved in. This also meant that I could Beyonce if you like it you shoulda put a ring on it to her, then back up to the 3-point line and sink that shitter back to base before thinning out half the next wave with a single Q. This opened the door for there to be so many plates you'd think I was in a scene of Beauty and the Beast, and some teapot was singing about used to having a vagina. And the best part of playing Ezreal is when their jungler invariably comes, I can just use my 14 seconds flash and now if you're thinking, hey, I thought we took care of this dumbass Diana already, then you are just like her father when he told his cousin to take plan B after that one night they got frisky in the 7-Eleven bathroom. But anyways, that might also explain why she seemingly has an inability to understand what happens when I put a ring around her and then walk away like I just don't care to pop it. Then I take the tower like it's my virginity and I'm my right hand before sticking around just long enough to put on one more display of my newfound wave clear. That said, we may be shitting on them like they are a lonely porta potty at a Peanuts festival, but my support Kaisa is fond of the whole go to enemy jungle stand still, let them kill you and then issue a surrender vote while my mid cleans up after my shit. Anyways, we get an anonymous tip that a metrosexual skeleton and a goat are fornicating in the shrubs, and turns out they were ready to protect their privacy, but I'm one hell of a fed Francine, so a few gentle taps on my keyboard and Kindred gets killed. Then we chase Lantern Larry down to let him know that bestiality is frowned upon, but he gets defensive and puts his walls up, literally, and then he gets ring popped and put in base. Now with just one AP item and Static Shiv, I can almost one-shot a wave with my Q as shown in Exhibit 69. Turns out Nico was trying to pretend to be something other than a dead bitch but was failing miserably, which left me to deal with the Polar Patrol, which I did with grace while declining Diana's invitation to be a broke douchebag as he departs my anus, and I give him a piece of my mind for crawling up there in the first place until he dies. This leaves just my personal ATM left, and I'm looking to make another withdrawal as Kaisa continues advertising that she's so tired of participation trophies being the only things she can win that she'd rather just not participate at all anymore. But a one-tap tower is the only thing between me and my 45th kill against this beginner bot that snuck into a draft lobby, who at the end of all this was somehow still worth a full 300 gold. This funded my Lich Bane, which was also recently buffed, and my 1Q wave clear was now looking like this. Anyways, I'm now so fed that enemies are literally saving their pre-workout for when they see me, but unfortunately for them it's beyond the point of making a difference as they just melt to the Static Shiv AP Ezreal plus wasted Nico ult combination. I see their Kindred fleeing a fight looking like he needs a Vicodin, so I toss a Hail Mary in the pit before settling for another one-tap wave clear to keep the pressure up instead. We all then collectively think it would be funny to steal their jungler's red buff, and then when he comes in looking for it, to just gaslight him into thinking it hasn't spawned yet, despite Obama having a blatant red ring around his feet. But he catches on, gets angry with us, and starts swinging a legitimate sword in our direction, so I have to do the humane thing and put him down. Then I know purely off of experience from laning against this brain-dead Diana that she is gonna stick around, and if I wait long enough I will get to witness her attempt something borderline suicidal, and I hate to say it but I was right. I'm now fed enough that I can donate my Qs and rely just on Lich Bane autos to nuke Volibears before volunteering as tribute to eat a Thresh Hook just to feel something again while playing League. We now have them all grouped up sucking copium straight out of their Nexus turret's tane as if it's the fountain of life, and they know they have no other way of surviving the wrath of Riot's latest change, turning AP Ezreal mid into an utter despicable monster. But I'm not complaining, I'm ulting. And when Master Yi comes in thinking he's gonna clean this shit up like a housemaid, I inform him that he can have the cuckwads I call my teammates, but this time when I fail flash a wall I will queef enough burst to kill him off. Oh, and Diana defied the odds and somehow managed to find a way to die at the end of all that too. Anyways, deja vu day 2, they are still camping like cowards and I'm over here convincing myself that their kindred and my Kaisa are somehow the same person and they are testing some random theory around if one person can fuck over 2 teams in the same game, and while I'm sure League of Legends players will be tirelessly trying to find a way to do that for years, I was personally committed to being about as helpful as a blind crossing guard. Which yeah, I felt guilty about after, but I wanted my wizard hat and on second thought I didn't feel guilty at all and I just wanted to fire off one more alley-oop from downtown Disney World for Obama to dunk for the finish before standing outside their fountain threatening murder if they leave until their nexus crashed. And with that, I am declaring right now that if Riot doesn't fix this, I will be maining this pick in the mid lane for years to come. Rav out.